Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today I'm going to be talking about something Kung Fu related. At least a tad longer, I guess you can say. Almost done here. So, it's going to be Ninja Turtle related. Yes, again. So yeah, almost done with this. So yeah, there's that. And the thing is that it's going to be comic book related. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Because the film I'm talking about is yeah, it's a crossover movie kind of thing. Batman versus Teenage Mutant Turtles. And this was supposed to be inspired by the miniseries that was released a while back, which I haven't read, by the way. Looks interesting, though. But the thing is that I bought my copy at a certain area I've been to quite a few times. And yes, a dollar store. That's where I found this copy. Oh boy, I've been here far too many times. But I think there was more than one series of comics where these characters met up. I don't think they're connected, but whatever. And in this one, what bothers me even more is that we have this version. Who don't know, I made a video about this specifically a while back. That I don't like the specific version of Batgirl, like whatsoever, like at all, because she comes off like your stereotypical JSW kind of a thing. And yeah, I remember back in the day when social justice words actually meant something. Nowadays, I question it. So why not have an issue where a Batgirl will fight somebody that's actually a threat to a lot of people, like this asshole, for example? Yeah, that'd be interesting. He's definitely a prick. Yeah, but just unfortunately, this version of Batgirl is based upon this series of comics which I didn't care for really. I mean, yes, having diversity that in itself doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but it's just the way it's handled here. So it seems like they could have done a whole lot more, and it just comes off really cartoony. I don't like that. It's come off way too goofy for my taste. Ugh. Come on, give me a break. What is this? The Amos West Batman all over again? That was awful. Boy, just give me that vibes again. I don't like that. No, just flat out no. Christ, I just prefer this stuff to be far more serious. And I know this is more of a personal taste, really, because I know some people out there don't mind the goofiness. And the Power Ranger movies or Ninja Turtle movies and a lot of the Batman stuff I tend to be goofy, I guess. But personally speaking, I don't care for like that. I want my superhero stuff or superhero stuff to be more taken more seriously. I know that's more of a me thing, really. That's more of my personal preference. I'm just saying, just whatever. Christ. I mean, the other Ninja Turtle was kind of goofy anyway to begin with, but I'm just saying. And then also, the thing is that, Mr. Monkey, how many times do I have to tell you to get a damn job? You're just a lazy bum. I mean, really. Do I have to insult you again? You ever think you like being embarrassed? Anyway, like I was saying, this is based upon the miniseries, as I mentioned earlier, Batman versus Teenage Mutant Turtles. This animated movie, which again is the Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, was produced as a way for the direct-to-video market and was released on both Blu-ray and digital download. But I guess you can say I got the DVD copy, of course. And anyway, it was released on June 4th of 2019. So it did receive fairly positive reviews, which I don't know why. This is pretty bad as far as I'm concerned because whatever. How can people like this kind of thing? I have no idea. But okay, whatever. Let's just move on with the show, I suppose. And because the thing is that, like always, I do have to talk about the plot. So let's get into it, shall we? Like the title would suggest, is that we see these Turtles and Batman actually fighting each other for a brief moment. And that's the kind of thing. It's basic clickbaity. No matter what, they do fight for a moment, but that's about it because they have to focus on other activities. What's going on here, folks? So it's not just a straight up Batman fighting Ninja Turtles. Which at first I thought that was going to be it, just that them fighting each other. Okay, so there's that. Anyway, the thing is that, of course, you see the story focusing on Batman, Robin, and yes, of course, Batgirl team up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in order to save Gotham from the chaos from the hands of Shredder. So yes, we see Shredder being the bad guy in this film. Yes, again.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
Clearly, in that regard, of course, it's rather repetitive, even in this one, by the way, folks. And just so you know, the thing is that film is completely ignoring the previous incarnations of the Ninja Turtle movies. This is its own thing. It's completely and utterly ignoring the previous entries of the series. So we're doing that again here. Same with Batman. This is not connected to any of the other Batman movies, just so you know. And yeah, Ra's al Ghul is in here as well. He's causing a ruckus over here. He's causing a lot of trouble. So yes, obviously he needs to be dealt with, of course, and he's a bad person, like he always is, regardless of which version of the character you'll be looking into, I guess. Well, that's fine. I have no issues with that, really. It just depends on how the character is delivered, I suppose, on screen. Though, honestly, my personal favorite iteration of the character would have to, of course, be from the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. To be more specific, the first entry of that series will, of course, be Batman Begins, which I thought was really good. So, yeah, I like that version of the character. And that also has its own universe as well. So does this one. So there you go. So yeah, like I was trying to say is that this one wasn't trying to connect itself to any of the other Batman movies that came out beforehand, nor those that came out afterwards either. So yeah, even with the comics, the mini series that it's supposed to be based upon, it kind of has its own thing going on as well. But yes, there's been multiple comic books of the Ninja Turtles over the years, and each of the series could be connected or maybe not, depending on which one are you talking about. Just like how these movies are, it just depends on which these are usually referring to. I'm not saying that there aren't any DC movies that are connected, and I'm not saying that there aren't any Ninja Turtle movies that are connected, which there are. It just depends on which one that you'll be referring to, really. It just depends on which movie you're referring to. It just depends. But it's just that this one is just its own thing, really. It's like a standalone kind of a movie, of course. Again, I'm trying to clarify that right there for in case anyone who doesn't know any better, obviously. I'm just saying. And so, yeah, kind of like an episodic kind of a thing going on here, but just what the hell? You'd be confused if you didn't know any better. If for those who don't know any wiser, you'd just be utterly confused by this entire thing, really. Where are the other characters and whatnot? So, okay. I mean, there's still the whole thing with how are they able to get money for a pizza? Yeah, that's still a plot here. That doesn't get explained here. How are they able to afford pizza? And yes, I'm bringing this up anyway because gotta eat pizza, gotta eat pizza, gotta eat pizza. That's still a thing in this movie, and it's played as a running gag. They even offer Batman pizza, and of course, it's like that seems rather random. Of course, when you think about it, which it is. It is random when you think about it. And it's just that, I mean, okay, I get it. They're like the Ninja Turtles and eating pizza is still a thing, but that's still a plot hole here when you think about it. It's still a massive plot here. Plot hole when you think about it, because, again, how are they to afford to any of this? I don't get it. But why pizza, though? Why pizza of all things? Shouldn't Turtles be eating something else? Some other thing? I don't know. Whatever. I just find it's kind of bizarre when you think about it. So there's that. But anyway, so yeah, they definitely have to do quite a bit here. They have their hands full, so to speak. Mr. Monkey, hey, leave the cat alone. The Rocky didn't do anything to you. Just leave him alone. Oh boy, you maybe should work in a pet shop or something. But then again, you and your incompetent ass, but probably won't do it right anyway. Anyway, but like I was saying, just going back to this movie, I can say that it's well animated. Say that the character designs aren't too bad. Oh, and get this, Harley Quinn is in here. Yeah, that too. That's going on in this movie. There was the one part of the movie where Harley Quinn asks Shredder to come closer to her ship, to a jail cell kind of a thing. And she pretty much uses that shiny bit of his mask to look her reflection, which I thought was pretty funny though. Okay, movie, I'll give you that. That was actually pretty funny. I like that bit. Anyway, but then there was also a bit where Robin sees one of the turtles wearing the bat suit, I guess, and he felt that the individual didn't deserve to wear that, and there was like a bit of a scruffle, I guess, a bit of an infight, I suppose. And that was quickly resolved, obviously. But so I just thought it was kind of weird that the Ninja Turtles were able to find out the Batcave, yet it was really difficult for people to find out where the Ninja Turtles live. Like, what the hell? I mean, yes, I brought this up here because I find that bizarre. How is it that nobody knows where the Ninja Turtle lives? Nobody else finds that out. Like, they live in sewers, right? So how is it that nobody finds this out? Like, whatsoever? Nobody finds out where they live, really. But they were able to locate Batman's cave. I don't get that. The lodge here escapes me. I just find that rather odd. I mean, it just seems like it just was done in a contrived way just to get the plot going, just to get it going, just to do that. So it felt forced in some ways in that regard. I mean, I get that they have to team up anyway because there's a lot of trouble in their hands, as I was saying a moment ago. That's fine, I suppose. It's just that can you do it in a less stupid way? I suppose. It's just the way it's done here just felt kind of contrived, is all I'm getting at. It's just whatever, I suppose. And I mean, I know some people can be telling me that I'm not a big fan of the DC movies, nor I'm not a huge fan of the Ninja Turtle movies. That's true. I am really not. I mean, yes, it would help matters if I were. That's true. But that's the thing, though. I don't have to be a huge fan of A or B to appreciate something. It would be a good movie regardless of that fact, regardless if I was a fan of whatever. It should be a good movie regardless of a fan of something. I mean, yes, like I said, it would help out. Obviously, it would help that I would know about the lore. Like even for Batman or the Ninja Turtles, of course, I mean, both of these characters, both these properties, both of these IPs are based upon comics. That's true. Both of these franchises are based upon comics. And yeah, this is pretty much a crossover. I guess you could consider this a crossover, I suppose. But okay, that sounds like something it could should have been good. It should have been a wonderful movie. But no, just what the hell? Just seems like this. If anything, that kind of pisses me off the most right there. It just seems like a waste of potential. I don't personally don't mind having these movies be taken seriously. Really, I mean, if you want to have some humor, sure, be my guest. Have some humor. That I have no issue with really. So don't get that twisted. I'm not trying to say you can't have any humor in these types of stuff because you certainly can if it's done properly. Of course, I don't mind that really. But in the grand scheme of things, I just didn't like how this was constructed. Of course, because it just seems like they're trying to have a lot of action, and at the end of the day, that's what this is. Just have plenty of action to be had here. One thing I would definitely admit is that the pacing is pretty good. There's not one moment I felt like it was dragging too long. There's not one moment I felt it was rushed by any means. No, and by any means, no. The pacing here is actually quite good. I'll give the movie that, of course. The pacing is nicely done. So I have no problems with the overall pacing. It goes from place to place, spot to spot, fairly brisk. It's really a brisk pacing, really. So that's fine. I have no issues with that, like whatsoever, like at all. That's fine. And like I was saying earlier with the animation, the character design. So in terms of production value, that was actually quite nice as well. The production value was actually quite good as well. So I have no issues with that either. You can tell they actually had a pretty decent budget for this, especially considering the fact that this is supposed to be a direct-to-video animated movie. And I don't have any issues with this being the direct-to-video movie kind of thing because I've reviewed quite a few of these. I've reviewed a lot of these actually. Come to think of it, I've reviewed quite a few of these really, so I have no issues with that whatsoever. So that's perfectly fine, really. I didn't mind that. I really didn't mind that whatsoever, considering the fact that it's a direct-to-video. So when it comes to that, I was not expecting a whole lot really when it comes to that because there's only so much you can do with a limited budget. So I guess in other words, you just have to get creative with this, and that's fine. Obviously, there's only so much you can do with that. So just get creative. Is what I'm saying. Just get creative with the limited production that you have. It's just unfortunate what they do have here. I just found it not to be very interesting, really, like at all. I just want to give this a chance, okay? I was just want to give this a chance. So my expectations weren't high anyway because I reviewed many of the other Ninja Turtle movies, and I didn't like none of them. I didn't like none of these movies, like whatsoever. I thought all these movies were pretty bad in various degrees. I can say in various degrees, I would say that they were bad. It would vary from movie to movie depending on which one I would be talking about. But this one's no different, unfortunately. This one is no different whatsoever. Sad to say, really, because I just didn't like how it was done due to the fact of the narrative, really. So just ultimately, that it just seemed like this could have been something really spectacular, but it really wasn't. Of course, we have Batman fighting off the Foot Clan. Yeah, the Foot Clan, that's back too as well. Which eventually leads to, of course, the whole idea of Shredder fighting off Batman. Which I actually like this. I didn't mind this well. That's a really cool idea, actually. I like that fight sequence. But anyway, back to Harley Quinn. She's in this jail. But eventually it gets to this I guess this green stuff. Obviously, you're gonna really tell what's gonna happen here. It's up to she's gonna be up to no good. This entire scene is up to no good. Like holy hell. We get the Joker, obviously. There's another character that gets introduced here, obviously. So yeah, let's just say, yeah, it gets pretty much soaked with this stuff here, this green stuff. And then the both of them became mutated or whatever. So there was that. And yeah, it's supposed to be a couple, right? So there's that going on. Oh yeah, Two Face. Two Face is in here, obviously. And then on top of all that, we do get quite a few of the other characters, other villains for a brief moment as well. Yeah, that happens, obviously. And Mr. Monkey, what are you doing? Oh boy, you took somebody's glasses, didn't you? Yeah, you did. You stole some glasses. Oh boy. Somebody needs to teach him some manners. Oh boy. Anyway, moving on from that. So yeah, as I was saying a moment ago, yes, there's quite a few characters that get introduced in this movie. So there's a lot going on. Even though at the same time, simultaneously, it kind of feels like it means nothing on the end of the day. There's a lot going on, but it means nothing. It's just like whatever, to some extent, I suppose. How do I say this? Oh yeah, I can say like maybe I can compare it to another movie I've already reviewed a while back. I can compare it to like say like Spider-Man 3 because it has too much going on and has too many characters, too much this, too much that. I kind of have that kind of thing going on here, unfortunately. So that happens with this movie as well. And so, in some ways, to some extent, I would say that this movie kind of lacks focus. So there's some nice little ideas here, is what I'm saying. There's some good ideas. It's just that the ideas that the bits and pieces that I did like didn't really get focused all that much because there's so much to be crammed in here, unfortunately. So it's just that I really wish they didn't do that, like whatsoever. There's so much potential they could have had here. If they just narrowed it down a bit. I don't mind having a complex story, really. Just don't have I don't mind if any of these types of stories have a complex plot. I don't mind that. By all means, sure. You can even do like a social commentary if you choose to. Why not? But anyway, and let me see here. Oh yeah, I can also compare it to two other movies I've already seen as well, like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, because the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 also suffers from this kind of thing as well. Having way too many things going on and way too many characters shoved in as well. So that those two movies suffer the same kind of fate, really. And which is fine kind of odd because they're trying to set up for sequels that never came. So there's that. But I just don't understand why they're trying to just cram so much in here, even though you should focus on quality writing. Really, you should focus on that, the characters' motivations, and to make sure that's done correctly. And I seem to notice that this, what I'm saying here, is seems to be like a common thing in superhero movies, comic book superhero movies. They seem to be like a very common thing for some reason. Maybe it's just the script writer's been incompetent, I suppose. So there's part of that going on. Another movie, yes, another example. Another movie I reviewed. I'm going to use this as an example. Is of course Batman v Superman, which is probably the worst one of the bunch, really, because it also does the same exact thing. It feels pretentious when you think about it. There's too much going on. It has too many characters, but with an added defense that is overly pretentious. What this was trying to do, it feels bloated. Is what I'm trying to get here, folks. It feels stuffed. All these movies I'm referring to, it feels stuffed, like an overly stuffed turkey. They're trying to have for Thanksgiving. That's how it feels like. Ugh. So there's that. And it just kind of makes me feel bad in some ways because I actually do like the character of Harley Quinn. Yeah, she's been in various animations, animated direct-to-video. She was like in so many animated movies, and live action, and of course, quite a few video games as well. So yeah, there's many iterations of a character as well. And yeah, there's plenty of material. There's plenty of material for this character alone, and I do mean a lot. So there's that. And it just seems, even here, she seems wasted. She's like a wasted potential, even with this character alone. But it's just sad when you think about it. And oh boy, don't get me started on the comic book line. Those all the comic books, a lot of these aren't even connected either. Maybe some of them are, but not all of them. So again, there's a lot of material this could use really. Could it make it be together some kind of way? I don't know. Mr. Monkey! God damn it. What are you doing? You didn't even clean the cleaner there. Oh, come on. You didn't even clean that up whatsoever. Oh, boy, you are a lazy bastard. I got something for you. Hey, Air Force. Hey. Yeah, that's what you get, you bastard. But alright then. So, like I was trying to say here is that, and obviously, this just, I don't know what they were thinking. I guess they must have felt that this could have been like really cool to have here. And of course, the Ninja Turtles, I'll put them as praising Batman throughout the entire thing. I think like he's the singer's greatest thing ever. Oh, like the fact that they're in his presence somehow just seems so cool or whatever. So okay, even though despite the fact that they were fighting just for a little bit in the movie, but then there's just shift the focus on the other villains in the story and whatnot. So there's that. But the thing is that it just seems like they could have had something here. This is what I'm trying to get at, obviously. And yeah, of course, Ra's al Ghul. Maybe Ra's al Ghul and Shredder. It could be just narrow it down just to them. I mean, Harley Quinn could be in the movie, I guess, but it maybe if it had a bit of a tighter story, maybe I would have liked it a bit more. Of course, I did like the how do I say this? The voice acting. Yeah, the voice acting from everyone was actually quite decent, actually. So the voice acting was actually decent. So I didn't really have an issue with the voice acting either whatsoever. So there was that. Also, I did like the editing. The editing wasn't too bad. Yes, believe it or not, something I've said quite a few times before. Yes, editing can make or break a movie. Animation is no different. So the editing was actually quite decent here. So I'll give it that. The editing here is quite decent. I did like the background. The background was nice detail, just like everything else. So they obviously didn't take any shortcuts when it comes to animation. So again, like I was saying earlier, when it comes to production values, I'll give them that. The sound editing, yes, sound editing is very important as well. The sound editing was actually quite good as well, and I actually like that. So I know what I'm saying is like the most obvious shit ever, like no kidding, duh. But you'd be surprised how this kind of aspect of filmmaking gets glanced over quite a few times, actually, by amateur filmmakers or just people who are just incompetent in general, I suppose. But anyway, like I was trying to say is that I just didn't like the narrative. My biggest issue here, if it wasn't obvious enough, it's just it's the narrative. It's the overall story I have a problem with, really. It's just that. That's it. It just feels too much of a clusterfuck, of course, when you think about it. And I mean, yes, those like I was saying, of course, with the Legion of Assassins, of course, we're always our goal. So these two, the Foot Clan and all that, they pretty much these two groups decide to work together as a way to strengthen their efforts to defeat the Ninja Turtles and Batman because they know that Batman and the Ninja Turtles have pretty much teamed up. So they put their efforts together as well to fight the bad people, so to speak. So there's that, obviously. Anyway, but just altogether, it just seems like it's how do I put this? It's just not a crazy crossover like it should have been. Yeah, just the overall synopsis of the story just seemed like a really badass crossover kind of thing, which it should have been. So yeah, which it should have been. But ultimately, I just do believe that. Okay, I mean, yes, those a reference. Yeah, they actually made a reference to the second movie of the original series of yeah, the original trilogy I reviewed. They actually made a reference to the original trilogy, the second movie, Secret of the Ooze, to be more exact. And people just like, wow, okay. Well, in other words, what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people grew up with the original Ninja Turtles from the 1990s, and a lot of people grew up with Tim Burton's Batman movies from the late 1980s and early 1990s. A lot of people grew up with both these franchises when they were younger. So in this one, the fact that we'll team up against two groups of villains who are also teaming up, it just feels like going on a trip of memory lane for a lot of people. So yes, of course, people are going to have this wild nostalgia trip. And that's it. I just believe that a lot of people just give this a positive review just for that. Just give this a positive review just based on that alone. That's it. Just trying to give this a great review just for that alone. Just somehow having these fuzzy wuzzy memories just because they found the original films charming. That's it. Just really enjoyable. I don't know. Just way too many missed opportunities for my liking. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, it's just that this movie could have been yeah no just something I didn't like. It's just that I didn't care for it. It's not that great really of a movie. So one aspects of the movie I did enjoy, like I was saying earlier, but that's as far as I'll give it really. But that's about it. That's about it really. And of course, the dialogue is going to be cheesy. Of course, the dialogue itself is going to be really cheesy. This is the Ninja Turtles we're talking about, so of course that's going to happen. Obviously, of course. So there was that. Just I don't know. It's just I just wish that this is something I would have enjoyed. A lot of people seem to be praising this, like I was saying. I just don't see it. I just don't see what all the hype what this was about, like at all. And it just seems like a lot of people seem to be praising this just because they were fans of the original stuff from way back when, the original Batman series from Tim Burton, and the original trilogy from way back when. And that's it, really. But anyway, just it's just that this way the way that this movie was presenting his characters, his overall themes, just didn't work out for me, as you can already tell yourself. Like I said before, I'm not a fan of either, really. But that didn't stop me from wanting to appreciate this. That didn't stop me from wanting to appreciate this. And yes, there's a villain that has a scheme to do great evil, and of course his plans are going to be intertwined by Batman and the Ninja Turtles. So it's basically good guy versus bad guy kind of a thing, as you might expect, obviously. And yes, we have the character of Donatello researching something about Batman and this location. That happens, of course, and trying to use just information to trying to figure out about the location of the Batcave, like I was saying earlier. And then it's the whole bit with Robin, as I said. Yes, of course, Batgirl arrives, obviously, and then we will have this scene where the Ninja Turtles will introduce themselves and explain their reason for wanting to come into Gotham, and then to the groups who do their thing, of course, and whatnot. The Ninja Turtles on the Batman team, I guess you can call them. So we have like two groups fighting off two other groups. Is what I'm trying to say is that. And and another thing is that speaking of having multiple characters, Ra's al Ghul does hire the character the Penguin. Yeah, the Penguin gets in here for like a brief moment. Like holy hell, how many characters do I can have in here? Like holy hell. But yeah, that was that. That was definitely that. Mr. Freeze, like we were saying earlier. So oh boy, yeah, this is crazy. It just seems like they're just trying to just put a bunch of characters in here as a way to make up for lack of substance. Yes, I know. It may seem like I'm making this as if there's a lot going on from the narrative, and it seems like there's a lot going on from the way I was describing it. I'm fully aware. Oh yeah, I'm definitely fully aware. But yes, obviously, at the end of the day, it means nothing. It's just very shallow. Ironically enough, it feels very shallow at the end of the day. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything within the grand scheme of things, really. It just kind of feels like junk food. This just feels like junk food, and that's it. It's just something to entertain you for a little while. As there's trouble going on in Gotham, so because Shredder, the leader of the Foot Clan, pretty much teams up with Ra's al Ghul and his team of assassins to bring a new form of terror to the streets for um I don't know. Well, why were they doing this? I don't know. I don't know why they were doing this. They're doing it just do it. I guess just to be assholes to everybody. I don't know why the bad guys were doing this kind of thing for whatever reason. I have no idea as to why the villains were doing any of this. And yes, of course, some people use this to take jabs at Michael Bay. Which yes, I realize that I've discussed this kind of thing, how the fan base of the Ninja Turtles really seem to dislike the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. Which I don't understand because it's not like these movies were good to begin with. Okay, I'm going to prevent myself from repeating myself and then repeating myself and then repeating myself what I already said. But basically, the Ninja Turtle movies were always bad. All these movies were always no good to begin with. So this movie can't be any worse than what we already saw. Is what I'm trying to get at. So they were saying the fan base would just say things like, "Yeah, Michael Bay, take notes." This is apparently how you do like a modern day Ninja Turtles movie. Like this is how you do like a modern day take on the Turtles. Like what are you talking about here, mate? I don't understand that like at all. But anyway, and so basically the Ra's al Ghul and Shredder they pretty much have to give this plan a chance to create some kind of a nightmare, a mutant nightmare to Gotham. Like they wanted to turn everybody into mutants. It kind of reminds me of the one movie I mentioned earlier, kind of like how in Batman Begins, whereas our goal was pretty much trying to turn like everybody in Gotham City against each other as a way to tear themselves apart. So that people in Gotham City in Batman Begins would just have its citizens turning each other as the city rips itself apart. And then Ra's al Ghul would just do his own version of society. Like he wants to rebuild everything in his vision, so to speak. I mean, is that what's going on here in this movie? I don't know. I'm only saying that because it just kind of reminds me of that other movie. By the way, I do think Batman Begins is a far better movie than this, really. But it kind of reminds me of that in that sense, in that kind of thing. Does Ra's al Ghul want to do that? Is he like an evil sadistic asshole or something? Is that what this is? I don't know. This seems kind of weird to me. Whatever. Oh, I'm just gonna wrap this up just because I can't take it anymore. I can't take this anymore. I just want to be done with this. I just want to finish. I don't like none of these movies. I don't like none of the Ninja Turtle movies, like at all, whatsoever. Just no. I don't mind kung fu. I don't mind seeing the Ninja Turtles doing martial arts. I don't mind Batman doing kung fu, old Batgirl doing kung fu, or even Robin doing kung fu. I don't mind any of these characters doing martial arts. I'm all fine with that. It's just the plot. It's just the narrative. It's just so bland. It's just so bland. I'll give this an overall rating of a 4.9 out of 10. It's a 4.9 out of 10 for me. It was almost okay. This was almost okay. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh, yeah, later. And if you don't mind me, Wendy's. Yeah, Wendy's again. Oh boy, doing that again here. Whatever. Christ.